My mom's magic ring turned me into my sister. I never meant for any of this to happen. If someone had told me a week ago that I'd be trapped in my sister's body, forced to live her life, I would have laughed in their face. But now, standing in front of the mirror, staring at my reflection, her reflection, I can't even recognize myself. Let's start at the beginning. My name is Jake Reynolds, an ordinary college sophomore with an extraordinary secret. By day, I'm just another guy trying to get through classes, working a part-time job at a coffee shop, and struggling to keep up with life's expectations. But when I'm alone, when the walls of my room become my sanctuary, I indulge in a side of myself no one knows about. I've been fascinated by femininity for as long as I can remember. The softness of silk, the elegance of high heels, the way makeup can transform a face, it's something I've always admired from afar. But admiration wasn't enough. I wanted to feel it, to experience it. It started small, borrowing a blouse from my sister Emily's closet when no one was home, swiping a bit of lipstick from my mom's vanity just to see how it looked against my lips. Over time, it became more than just curiosity. It became a craving, an escape from the person the world expected me to be. But I never told anyone, not even my girlfriend, Emma. Emma and I had been dating for a little over a year. She was the kind of person who lit up any room she walked into, bright, confident, completely sure of herself. She loved fiercely, and when she set her mind on something, she never let go. I admire that about her, but at the same time it terrified me. She had a strong sense of right and wrong, of what was normal and what wasn't. If she knew about my secret, I didn't want to think about it. Our relationship was good, great, even, but I was constantly on edge. Every sleepover at her place meant making sure there were no stray traces of foundation on my skin. Every time she playfully ruffled my hair, I worried she'd somehow feel the remnants of setting spray. My world was built on careful calculations, making sure my two lives never crossed. Then, of course, there was my family. My mom and dad were traditional, the kind of parents who believed in clear-cut gender roles. My mom, Lisa, always doted on my sister Emily, teaching her how to do her makeup, helping her pick out dresses. With me, it was different. She loved me, I knew that, but our relationship always felt distant. She expected me to be strong, masculine, things I never really felt deep down. And then there was Emily, my older sister by 2 years, effortlessly beautiful, effortlessly confident. She had always been the golden child in our family. Straight-A student, social butterfly, everything I wasn't. But despite our differences, we were close. At least, we had been before she moved out for college last year. She didn't know about my secret either. No one did. The day everything changed was supposed to be just another normal evening. My parents were out for the weekend, visiting my aunt in another state. Emily was coming home for a short visit, but she had texted earlier saying she'd be out with friends all night. That meant I had the house to myself. A rare opportunity. I wasted no time. The moment I was sure I was alone, I headed straight for Emily's room. It still smelled faintly of her floral perfume, and everything was neatly in place, just as she had left it. My heart pounded as I slid open her closet door, running my fingers along the fabric of her dresses. Tonight, I wanted to go all out. I picked a burgundy dress, something sleek yet elegant, and laid it on the bed. Next, I moved to her vanity. The thrill of getting to use real makeup instead of drugstore samples hidden in my drawer sent a shiver down my spine. Carefully, I applied foundation, blush, mascara, each stroke bringing me closer to the person I wished I could be, if only for a little while. Then I saw it. A ring. It sat in an open velvet box on Emily's vanity, a deep green gemstone glistening under the bedroom light. I had never seen it before, but something about it called to me. My fingers hesitated for only a second before I picked it up, slipping it onto my finger. A chill ran through my body. The room spun. My vision blurred, and suddenly I felt my entire body shift. My skin tingled, stretched, reshaped. My chest grew heavier, my waist tightened, and my legs lengthened. Panic clawed at my throat as I stumbled to my feet, dizzy and disoriented. Then I saw the mirror, and I screamed. Staring back at me wasn't Jake Reynolds. It was Emily. The shock of seeing Emily's face staring back at me was like a punch to the gut. My breath came in short gasps as I stumbled backward, nearly knocking over the vanity chair. I squeezed my eyes shut, telling myself this was just a dream, a trick of the light. But when I opened them, the reflection hadn't changed. My hands trembled as I brought them to my face. My fingers traced the contours of my new features: Emily's high cheekbones, her delicate nose, the shape of her lips that I had seen 1,000 times but never like this. My hair, longer and silkier than it had been mere moments ago, cascaded down past my shoulders. I swallowed hard. This wasn't possible. It had to be the ring. Hard hammering, I looked down at my hand. The ring was still there, the green gemstone glowing faintly as if it were alive. I tugged at it desperately, my breath hitching in panic. But it wouldn't budge. I ran back to the mirror, gripping the edges of the vanity as I stared at myself, at Emily. My mind raced through 1,000 thoughts, none of them making sense. This couldn't be happening. This couldn't be real. But it was. A sudden wave of nausea hit me, and I sank onto the edge of Emily's bed, my head spinning. What was I supposed to do now? My parents weren't home, but Emily was supposed to be back tomorrow. Would I be stuck like this? What if she walked in and saw me, herself, standing in her bedroom? And then there was Emma. I hadn't planned on seeing her tonight, but what if she decided to surprise me? What if she called? What if she FaceTimed me? Dread coiled in my stomach like a tightening knot. I needed to fix this. Now. I stumbled to my feet and rushed back to the vanity, yanking open drawers, looking for anything that could help. Maybe there was some kind of inscription on the ring box, some clue as to what it was or how to reverse whatever had just happened. But there was nothing. My fingers curled into fists. I forced myself to take deep breaths, trying to think rationally. Panicking wouldn't help. Okay. Step 1, don't get caught. Step 2, figure out how to undo this. Until I could remove the ring, I was trapped. That meant I had to act like Emily. The thought sent another jolt of anxiety through me. Pretending to be someone else was one thing, but pretending to be my sister? I looked down at myself, at the burgundy dress I had put on before the transformation. It fit me perfectly now, hugging curves I hadn't had before. Even the makeup I had applied to my old face now suited this one effortlessly, as if it had been done by Emily herself. I walked back to the mirror, studying every inch of my reflection. If I was going to pull this off, I had to move like her, speak like her, think like her. I straightened my posture, tilting my chin up slightly. Emily always carried herself with confidence. I tried to mimic her smirk, the way she always seemed so sure of herself. Then I took a step back and nearly fell. The heels. I had put on a pair of her black pumps before the transformation, and now they felt both familiar and foreign. My body had changed, adapted to them, but my mind still struggled to keep balance. I took another cautious step, then another. With each movement, I felt a strange mix of exhilaration and fear. I had always dreamed of fully transforming, of embodying femininity in a way that wasn't just temporary, but not like this. This wasn't just dressing up. This was real. A vibration in my pocket made me jump. My phone. I fished it out, my heart hammering as I saw the name on the screen. Emma. Panic surged through me. I had no idea what to do. If I didn't answer, she'd get suspicious. If I did answer, I glanced at my reflection. I wasn't Jake anymore. I hit decline. Almost immediately, another text popped up. Emma. Hey babe, everything okay? I let out a shaky breath. Think. I started typing. Me. Yeah, just tired. Long day. A few seconds passed before another message came in. Emma, want me to come over? I can bring food. I felt a lump rise in my throat. No. That was the last thing I needed. Me, not tonight. I think I just need sleep. There was a long pause before she finally responded. Emma, okay. Love you. I exhaled in relief. That was close. But I wasn't safe yet. I had to make sure no one saw me like this. Not my parents, not Emily, not Emma. I needed time to figure out how to fix this. I just had to survive the night without getting caught. How hard could that be? The night had been a relentless game of nerves. Every sound, every creak of the house settling, set my heart racing. I had avoided every mirror, afraid that if I looked too long, I might lose myself completely in Emily's reflection. The ring remained firmly stuck to my finger, its presence an unrelenting reminder that I was trapped in my sister's body. And then the knock came. Sharp. Urgent. I froze. My breath caught in my throat. No one was supposed to be here. For a moment, I considered ignoring it. Maybe whoever it was would just go away. But then, another knock, louder this time. I tiptoed toward the window, peeking out between the blinds. My stomach twisted into knots. Emma. She stood on the porch, shifting her weight from one foot to the other, her face lit by the porch light. My phone buzzed. I didn't need to check the screen to know it was her. I was trapped. If I didn't answer the door, she'd know something was wrong. If I did, I looked down at myself. Emily's burgundy dress, her perfectly styled hair, her delicate features staring back at me from the window's reflection. I couldn't let Emma see me like this. Another knock. I had no choice. I swallowed my panic and forced myself to breathe. If I was going to get through this, I had to act like my sister. I took a deep breath, opened the door just enough to peek out. Hey, I said, my voice slightly higher, trying to mimic Emily's tone. Emma's eyes widened. Oh, hey, Emily. Is Jake here? My stomach dropped. I forced a polite smile, leaning against the doorframe to block her view inside. Nope. He's not home. Emma frowned. That's weird. He texted me earlier. I shrugged, trying to stay casual. Yeah, he left in a hurry. I think he just needed some space. She studied me, suspicion flickering in her eyes. Are you okay? She asked suddenly. The question caught me off guard. What? You seem off, she said, narrowing her eyes. I mean, you look perfect as always, but something's weird. You're fidgeting. I forced a laugh, shifting my posture to something more relaxed. I'm just tired. Long day. Emma hesitated, then sighed. I just wanted to check on him. He's been acting distant lately. I nodded quickly. Yeah, you know Jake. He's probably overthinking something stupid. Emma exhaled and gave me a small smile. Yeah, that sounds like him. Relief washed over me. Maybe I was in the clear. But then she tilted her head. Hey, can I use your bathroom? Panic surged through me. If she came inside, if she saw my room, Emily's room, if she found my phone or something out of place. No, I blurted out. Emma blinked, startled. I scrambled for an excuse. The toilet's broken. I was just about to call Dad about it. She raised an eyebrow. Really? Yeah. I nodded too fast. Total disaster in there. You don't want to see it. Emma studied me again, and for a moment, I thought she wasn't going to buy it. Then, finally, she sighed. Okay. I'll just go home. I nearly collapsed with relief. Emma turned to leave, then paused. Tell Jake to call me, okay? I nodded quickly. Will do. She hesitated one last time, then walked away. I shut the door the second she was out of sight, pressing my back against it. My whole body was shaking. That was too close. I rushed back to the vanity, gripping the edge as I stared at my reflection. I needed to get out of this body. Now. I grabbed the ring and tugged. Hard. Nothing. I yanked again, twisting it, trying to slide it off my finger. My skin burned from the effort, but the ring wouldn't budge. Panic surged through me. No, I whispered. I tried soap, lotion, cold water. Nothing worked. I slumped onto the bed, hands shaking. What if I was stuck like this forever? A lump formed in my throat. I had always fantasized about transformation, about what it would be like to fully embrace femininity, but not like this. Not as my sister. Tears burned at the edges of my vision. I couldn't do this. I needed to fix it. I looked up, and my gaze landed on the full-length mirror across the room. Emily's eyes stared back at me. I slowly stood, walking toward it, my breath unsteady. I raised a shaking hand, touching the glass. For years, I had imagined what it would be like to be someone else. To see a girl staring back at me instead of the awkward, uncertain guy I had always been. And now it had happened. I should have been terrified. I should have been desperate to change back. But a part of me, the part one never talked about, felt something else. A strange, thrilling sense of belonging. I ran my fingers down my reflection's cheek, down my neck, over the curve of my waist. The dress clung to my figure in a way that felt right. I shivered. Was this who I was meant to be? Or was it just the ring playing tricks on my mind? I shook my head. No. I couldn't think like that. I had to fix this. I had to go back. But as I stared at the girl in the mirror, at myself, I couldn't help but wonder, did I really want to? I stood frozen before the mirror, Emily's delicate hands pressed against my cheeks, my breath shallow. The reflection looking back at me wasn't just my sister, it was me. The thought sent a shiver down my spine. The ring wouldn't come off. My body was no longer my own. A knock at the door had nearly ended everything earlier, but I had managed to fool Emma. Barely. The encounter had rattled me, and the weight of what I was facing hit me all over again. I had no way of undoing this. But I had to. I forced myself to breathe, to push back the swirling emotions. Maybe Mom would know something. She was the one who had always talked about the ring like it was special, like it had history. I turned from the mirror, gripping my phone. But just as I unlocked it, the front door opened. Not a knock, not a warning, just the unmistakable sound of the door swinging open. I went rigid. Footsteps. Emma. Panic shot through me like lightning. My mind raced for an escape. Hide? Speak. Run. I barely had time to move before Emma's voice rang out. Emily? Are you still up? I swallowed hard. She hadn't seen me yet. I took a shaky breath, forcing my voice into Emily's higher tone. Yeah. What are you doing here? I heard her kick off her shoes. I forgot my jacket. Thought I'd just grab it real quick. I turned slowly, heart hammering against my ribs. Emma was already walking toward the couch where she'd left it earlier. If she stayed there, maybe, just maybe, I could pull this off. She grabbed her jacket, but then, instead of leaving, she hesitated. Her eyes swept over the room, then landed on me. Are you okay? She asked. You look, I don't know, different. I forced a laugh. Just tired. She squinted at me. Then her gaze dropped. To my hands. To the ring. What's that? I yanked my hand behind my back. Nothing. Emma's expression shifted. That's not nothing. My throat went dry. It's just a ring. Wait. She stepped closer, her brows furrowing. That looks like. She sucked in a breath. That's your mom's ring. I forced a casual shrug. Yeah. So. She folded her arms. Jake told me your mom always said that ring was weird. I felt my stomach twist. She was too close now, studying me too carefully. I could see the wheels turning in her mind. Something wasn't adding up for her. I needed to get her out. Now. I faked a yawn. Well, it's late. You should probably. But Emma wasn't moving. Instead, she stepped even closer. And then, before I could stop her, she reached for my hand. I tried to pull away, but she was faster. Her fingers closed around mine, her eyes locked onto the ring. For a split second, I thought she was just admiring it. But then her expression changed. Her mouth parted slightly. Her grip on my hand tightened. She wasn't just looking at the ring. She was looking at my hand, at my fingers. And I knew exactly what she saw. Emily's hands. Not mine. I ripped my hand away, but it was too late. Emma took a slow step back, her face paling. Wait! She stared at me like I was a puzzle she couldn't quite solve, but was starting to. I took a step back. Emma, Her eyes flicked over me. My face. My posture. The way I held myself. And then, I saw the moment she realized. Her breath hitched. Her hand shot to her mouth. Oh my God! I froze. She knew. Islands stretched between us, thick and suffocating. Emma's voice came out in a whisper. Jake! I opened my mouth, but nothing came out. Her hands trembled slightly as she pointed at me. No, that's not possible. I swallowed hard. Emma, She took a step back. What is this? My mind was screaming, scrambling for something, anything, to explain this away. But there was no excuse. No light big enough to erase what she had just seen. Emma's eyes darted around the room, like she was looking for proof that this was some kind of trick. But all she found was me. She shook her head. You look like Emily. But you sound like... She trailed off, her face contorting with disbelief. I couldn't breathe. This was it. This was the moment everything came crashing down. She knew. Emma's eyes flickered with emotions too fast to track. Shock, confusion, something almost like fear. And then, the question I had been dreading. How? I hesitated. I don't know. Emma's chest rose and fell in shallow, uneven breaths. You don't know. I shook my head. I swear I put the ring on and... Her expression twisted. And what? I exhaled shakily. And I woke up like this. Silence. I could see the struggle in her eyes, the battle between logic and the impossible truth standing right in front of her. Then she whispered, almost to herself, "This is insane." I clenched my fists. "I know." Her gaze flickered to the ring again. "Take it off." I hesitated. Emma's voice sharpened. "Take it off, Jake." "I tried." She frowned. "What do you mean you tried?" I swallowed hard. "It won't come off." Emma's face drained of color. She took another step back, gripping her jacket like it was the only thing keeping her tethered to reality. I watched her carefully. She was afraid, not just of what had happened, but of me. Emma ran a hand through her hair, exhaling shakily. Okay. We need to think." I nodded quickly. "Yes, we can figure this out." But she still wouldn't look at me. That's when I realized the truth. It didn't matter that I was still me. All she saw was Emily. The boy she had known, the one she had loved, was gone. Or at least, that's how it looked to her. And I didn't know if she would ever be able to see me the same way again. I had thought getting stuck like this was the worst thing that could happen. I was wrong. The worst thing was seeing the way Emma looked at me now. Like she didn't know me at all. Emma took a slow and steady breath. Then, finally, she met my eyes. "What if you can't change back?" The question hit me like a punch to the gut. I had been so focused on fixing this that I hadn't let myself consider it. What if there was no way back? What if I was Emily now? Forever? The thought made my stomach drop. Emma's voice was barely a whisper. "What are we going to do?" I didn't have an answer. And maybe I never would.